Hello guys, welcome back. This is the 16th video in the 30 days of Databricks series. If you just land in this particular video, then I have created already 15 videos in the series. Feel free to watch those. You might get some useful insights out of it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through MLflow. This is the first video in the series where I'm talking something related to machine learning. I am not going to go through in depth in MLflow in this video, but I am going to show you what you can do with MLflow in the Databricks Community Edition. I will show you what are the practicalities you should follow and how you can proceed in order to achieve what I will show you in this video. Let's get started. Some of the practicalities, what I recommend you to do is first, instead of data science and engineering, if you go with the machine learning, then we can see the machine learning stops here. That is one thing. And the next thing is when you create the cluster, if you go to compute, you can create the cluster here. And when you create the cluster, now I have used 13.3 ML, meaning that machine learning. If I go to create cluster, I'm not going to create, but when you choose the Databricks runtime version, always go with the machine learning if you are working with machine learning, so that the necessary packages are already being installed. I will show you that in a bit, why I'm saying that. Okay, always attach the cluster before you proceed. What is MLflow? It is an open source platform to manage the machine learning lifecycle, including experimentation, reproducibility, deployment, and a central model registry. But all the things cannot be achieved in the community edition of Databricks. If you want to follow MLflow outside of Databricks, it's fine. You can go to this link. This is the MLflow official documentation. From here, you know that you can use this for tracking projects, models, registry, and all different things. Once I am in this particular notebook, if you see on the side here, there is MLflow experiments, and now it is just showing the name of the notebook. And experiment runs, we don't have any experiments, and it has already shown here no runs yet. See the MLflow quick start guide to learn how to track your MLflow model training runs. If you click this one, I highly recommend to go through this one. This is the part where Databricks has provided the documentation in details related to MLflow. If you go on the left side here, so this is the get started with MLflow experiments. But here you can see there are many things what you can do, tutorial, end-to-end, and all the different things. If you want me to create end-to-end MLflow video, maybe I can create that after this series. Please let me know in the comment section. But now I'm just going to show you some basic steps of MLflow in Databricks in Community Edition. As I have mentioned here, if you are running Databricks runtime version 7.1 or above, you can already install the MLflow in with the pip, or you can use these two things. But as I choose the ML runtime environment, I don't need to install MLflow. It is already being installed. That's the reason you need to choose the Databricks runtime environment in order to proceed in your specific task. And I'm using this particular runtime so that you can also follow along when you create the cluster. What we need to do first is import required libraries. Here are some of the libraries. Import MLflow, which is already installed. And here I'm importing something related to sklearn. So MLflow sklearn. And there is matplotlib, pandas, normal stops, and the data set I'm going to use is the load diabetes from sklearn diabetes, so that it's already there. You can just load and play around. I can just run this particular shell now, and as you can see here, it is running here because I have already attached the cluster. But for you need to attach the cluster before you run any shells. Okay, it runs here, and as I said you need to know if it is installed or not. MLflow, you can just run pip list. I have already created a completely separate video about how you can install machine learning or other related libraries. You can follow that. But here pip list show all the installed packages for us. If I scroll a little bit down, there should be MLflow. It is in the alphabetical order, so you can go to the part where is the M. There is MLflow, but it is skinny. Why skinny is because if I go here, it will show us all the different things about skinny. If you want to know more things about what is skinny. I have provided the link here. It will take you to the PyP. Here it says a lightweight machine learning lifecycle client. It is lightweight where there are some of the things are restricted so that it's lightweight. You can just go through this. There is MLFlow, which is the main one where you can do all the stops, but this one, it's not that much of the things. What I'm going to do is provide you two examples. One is about the regression and one is the classification model, and see what are the things that can be logged in the MLflow experiments by default. Here the normal things: importing the dataset. I'm taking the load diabetes dataset, which I imported here in this cell here, and then in the X we have the db.data and Y is db.target. That is how it works in machine learning. There should be one where we train the data and one where we see the results for the prediction of the data. So we need to do the train test split. So I'm doing the train test split with the default things. If you just hover on top of this, it will show you what are the things it takes by default. But I can run this shell now. But if you want to know more things about train test split before you run this, you can just provide train test split and 2 question marks, and it will show you the documentation. You can follow this. Split arrays or matrices into random train and test subsets, right? Now just to show what is the shapes, you can say x.shape and y.shape. It will show us the shape of x data as well as the y data, x and y. And by the way, this is already in the numpy array. We don't need to convert that. You need to be careful into this. And what we are going to do here is create a random forest model and log the parameters. By the way, just to show you one thing here, MLflow Python API. MLflow actually provides Python APIs and there are different things here. What I'm going to use in this video is the sklearn part. But as you can see here, there are so many, so you can follow specific ones so that it is just focusing on that particular API. Let's say that if I want to go with the sklearn, if I go to the sklearn, you can see that the sklearn MLflow.sklearn module provides an API for logging and loading scikit-learn models. This module exports scikit-learn models with the following flavors. So you can see there are different things, and there are some of the common matrices for a classifier and common matrices for regressor. We will see this when we run the experiments. Now I go here and how to actually log things. MLflow has this cool thing called auto log. All the parameters, model score and the fitted model are automatically logged. I'm just saying here MLflow.sklearn.autolog. I'm using sklearn as I said to you because this is a sklearn focused video. I will run this one. As you run this, still there is nothing here because no runs yet. You need to be focusing on this part when we run the experiments because this is where it appears. And now what I'm going to do is with MLflow.startRun, and these are the model parameters. You can provide whatever you want, and there is this random forest regressor. I'm providing the n estimator as 100, maximum depth as 6, maximum features and maximum features that is 3. And then what I am doing here after this is just fitting that into the X train and Y train and doing the predictions. Just see what happens here now. When I run this particular cell, something will happen here. If you just watch closely, it is running. It's still running. And now as you can see here, there is this rumbling ape 917 name given by default, view the run. And then it says, okay, this is the time it is using. There is bootstrap and training mean absolute error that is already being shown to us. If you just click on this, you can see that there are many things being used. And also if you click on this model, mean absolute error is 30, training mean square error is 1323, something like that. It's already being logged here, but I think instead of here, what we can do is go to the experiment UI. It is already being logged in the UI. If I click this one, this is inside Databricks. We are not going outside. This is the good part of Databricks, as I said you before, because Databricks creators or the owners actually created MLflow, and that is made open source, and they have integrated that into Databricks for easiness. As you can see here, it says rumbling app. If I click inside this, Okay, it is given the run ID, who is the user, duration, date, it's finished or not, what is the source, and what is the description you can provide here. Parameters. Okay, what is the parameters? As you can see here, these are the parameters of the model. It's already being logged here. And the metrics, we didn't write any code to create the metrics, but that's the good part of MLflow, that it automatically creates some metrics for us. So as you can see, it says training R2 score. The training score is 0.77, not bad. And you can just now tune your models or whatever you want to do to make this better as your use case. And there are the tags. So estimator class, estimator name, it is being default taken from there. And there is artifacts also. What is artifacts? If you go inside the model, there is MLflow model. There is already some of the artifacts being provided for us. There is conda ML file. Okay, what is being used? There is model.pickle. There is Python env ML file. There is requirement.txt, estimator.html. If you go to this model, now as you can see, the good part of this is the code snippets below demonstrate how to make prediction using the logged model. So you can, there is already the code being provided to you in order to run this model. So you can use or predict on a Spark data frame, or you can predict on a Pandas data frame. Just copy this and then run the model. If I go to the MLflow basics notebook, that's all I want to show you in the regression part. You get the idea how to use. One thing what I want to show you is, what if we want to run with the classification problem? Let's say that I'm importing some of the things just to not show me any errors. This is the normal things I'm loading, and the data sets again from the sklearn, but I'm using load iris data set. I can run this classification model also. I will say here, okay, data is load iris as before, X is data, Y is the target. I will just run this. I do the train test split, but now here I'm giving the test size 0.3, random state 42. As I said before, you can provide whatever you want, not the default one only. If you hover on top of this, it will show you all the different things here. So I can run this one, and now I can just run this. If I run this, the different here, what I'm trying to show you is, here I'm providing the run name as classifier, because before by default it created this rumbling ape 917, which might be confusing for you. Okay, what is this? But if you provide unique name, okay, this is classifier in this case only, but as you can see here, it shows classifier so that we know that it is specific to that particular run. So this is the classifier. And yeah, we can even run the accuracy, because there is already the Y parade being shown us. It says 1. Okay, always be careful. If the accuracy is 1, then it's not a good model. But yeah, well, you might argue on that, but that's how it should be. If something is really good, then there must be something wrong. Now if you want to see what is there, you can go to this particular experiment or classifier, or if you go to the previous one also here, experiments, if you go to the experiment, and by the way, this is one way how you can view this. Or next is, we have experiments on the side here. So if I run this experiment, the same thing pops up here, MLflow basics, because that is the file that we have used. If you go inside, there is 2 experiments, run name. So I can go with the classifier now. So this is different than the previous one. So if you go to the metrics, there are more metrics now being shown. So accuracy, training, and all different things. That's the reason I'm saying you that it depends upon the model, or the classification model, or the regression model, or there are many APIs as I showed you before. Based on that, the metrics are being logged so that it's easier for us to see. So if you want to go to the accuracy metrics, okay, its accuracy is all the way here. Then you can even go and print, okay, what is the log loss? If you want to go just to remove these things from here, that's it. That you can even visualize from here. I don't want to go through this in depth, but as you can see, you can do the line smoothness and different things here. Okay, now let's say that I want to register the model, just to show you that it does not work in the community edition. Okay, I said here logged model is this one, and I want to give the different name as the register model. I run enter, and then I want to register. How to register? It is MLflow.register model, and I'm providing the logged model and the model name. If I run this, as it is already shown there also, but I will just run this, it will show us the error that permission denied, model registry is not enabled for organization. You cannot register the model because in the free version we don't have the models icon here, but in the premium ones there will be the model icon. So when we register the model, then that will be registered. I hope that is clear, but this cannot be used in the free version, of course, because if you provide everything in the community edition, then where is the business idea? So yeah, but they allow us to view all the different things, and the good part is the UI here. This is the best part which I also like when using Databricks, is because I can just go through this UI already in Databricks and visualize all the different things without having to configure it myself. And but if you want to go with the MLFlow part, as I said you before also, you can just explore the documentation. Okay, that's all in this video. I hope you learned something new today. If yes, give thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.